schoolhouse. Oh, no.
Guess what? We're going to talk more about regulations on the schoolhouse. We're going to talk about the cost of
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some. So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now. Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO.com or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away. Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some. So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. Today's show is brought to you by Place Your Bet. If you like to bet on sports games, baseball, basketball, hockey, football, boxing, golf, you name it, you can bet on it. And you're looking for a real bettor's edge on the casino sportsbook, call Place Your Bet right now at 702-799-9935 and get your free subscription. Place Your Bet uses money movement to determine picks just like the casino odds makers. In fact, their winning percentage over the Vegas line is 86%. That's crazy, with all games documented. The casinos don't want you to know about Place Your Bet. Give them a call right now at 702-799-9935, 702-799-9935. Call them right now for your subscription or visit them at placeyourbet.vegas. That's placeyourbet.vegas. Get winners today and cash tickets with Place Your Bet. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Got to jump right in with this. And this is the ongoing saga of Mr. Kraft and the New England Patriots. That just seems to keep going and going and going. I don't understand this now. Prosecutors are saying that Robert Kraft's attorneys lied in court. Now, William Burke is one of those attorneys. He told the Associated Press on the telephone that he and the other co-counsel, Alex Spiro, of Robert Kraft, will not be intimidated, quote, end quote. He said they will provide evidence supporting their claims. Burke represented former White House counsel Don McGahn, and also during the counsel Robert Mueller's investigation as well. Now, Spiro also represented Jay-Z, Mick Jagger, and other celebrities, etc. So, of course, he's not going to be intimidated by any way, shape, or form. But here's really what this comes down to. It's the old he said, she said, because, let's face it, the court wants the videotape available to the people. Yet, Robert Kraft does not, because there is a really big problem with this, obviously, if he's exposed, the $6 billion man that is. Now, quote, they've made a series of false accusations against us, Burke said. This is all an obvious and desperate attempt to deflect attention away from illegal and unconstitutional actions of the Jupiter Police Department and the state lawyers, close quotes. Now, last week, Kraft's attorneys asked the judge to throw out the video recording allegedly showing the 77-year-old Robert Kraft twice paying for sex in January at the Orchids of Asia Day Spa. Now, Kraft, who is worth $6 billion, is one of 25 men charged with paying between $50 and $100 for sex. Kraft has pleaded not guilty, but issued a public apology for his actions. Now, if you're not guilty, why are you issuing a public apology in the first place? To me, listen, if you're apologizing and if you're making a statement that is contrary to your position, buddy, I got to tell you, that sure sounds like it's guilty to me. Now, in court documents and proceedings, Jupiter Police said that after receiving a tip from the neighboring county, that Orchids of Asia might be a prostitution front, detectives placed under surveillance in November and persuaded a judge in January to issue a warrant letting them install hidden cameras in the spa itself. Now, Kraft's attorneys accused them of lying to obtain the warrant, calling that a violation of the customer's privacy's rights. Now, according to testimony, if detectives monitoring the cameras saw a customer pay for sex, the suspects were tailed by Jupiter officers as he left the parking lot until he committed a traffic violation. Now, what if they didn't commit a traffic violation? Were they going to make something up? Now then, if he did, he was pulled over to obtain his identification so they could later be charged with solicitation. That sounds a little bit dicey to me. Now, the men were not told immediately that they had been seen at the Orchids of Asia. Police said that they didn't want to tip off the spa's owner about the surveillance. Now, Officer Kimbark pulled over Kraft's chauffeur after one of his visits. During questioning last week, Spiro, who's one of Kraft's attorneys, asked Kimbark about his recorded conversation with other officers about pulling over the previous customer. Spiro 4 times accused Kimbark of acknowledging that he didn't have any probable cause to stop the man, but would, quote, make up some beep to pull them over, end quote, using a common obscenity, of course. Now, Officer Kimbark denied saying that, as did prosecutors on Tuesday. Prosecutors said to avoid telling the man that his traffic violation had occurred in the spa's parking lot, Officer Kimbark was recorded telling another officer that if the man asked about its location, he would, quote, come up with something, close quote. The prosecutor said the wording of Spiro's question, quote, was designed to mislead the judge as to the lawfulness of the traffic stop, close quote. Now, look, the bottom line here with all this, it appears that Robert Kraft was reported as seeing paid for sex, as we had mentioned earlier, and they're trying to get it thrown out of court because think about this, folks. What is the real value of this dialogue in the first place? Look, you've got a guy that owns big business. He's well into the billions, not the $6 million man, but the $6 billion man. If this guy is convicted of a crime, well, it would sure seem to stand to reason that his investors in his company could drive their stock price down, and that could literally be a cost of billions of dollars. So why is it significant? Look, if the guy wants to go do whatever he wants to do in his free time, so be it. But the problem is it has to fall within the parameters of the law. Now, the chauffeur driver is the big question here. Did the chauffeur driver do anything wrong, which is Robert Kraft's chauffeur driver? I don't know. I wasn't there. But it sure seems to me that something was made up, as one of his attorneys said, as to why he got pulled over. It's not very often that you see a limo driver pulled over in the first place. So if that is the case, what was the probable cause? Why is it significant? I mean, could it be that if this guy gets arrested being Kraft, that maybe he's forced to sell the New England Patriots? That's going to change the entire culture of the NFL and, of course, of the New England Patriots. So there's a lot at stake with this situation, and that's why we're covering it, because although it may seem somewhat trivial that somebody wants to pay for certain acts or whatever, well, maybe that is trivial, but the ultimate end game is that there would be significant impact not only in the football world, but in the sporting world as well. So there's a lot that's happening here with this whole Robert Kraft thing. We're going to keep an eye on this as it develops, but we certainly can't root for the defense team to say, or I should say the prosecutor to say, well, hey, we're going to plant evidence or we're going to do this, that, and the other just to bring this guy down. No, it's got to be done within the limits of the law. So we'll see what happens here. But we're going to be back here in a few minutes on the Sports Circus, possibly with a special guest. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
Here is today's top automotive tech story. I'm Nick Miles. Kia introduces its new flagship SUV, the Telluride, packed with automotive tech, including the Kia DriveWise suite of advanced driver assistance systems and an available 10.25-inch color touchscreen with rear-view monitor and parking guidance. Telluride will have available wireless smartphone charging, available 6 total USB charging ports, multi-Bluetooth wireless connectivity, allowing 2 phones to connect simultaneously. For more cool car tech, visit testmiles.com.
Hop into the all-new greater-than-ever Corolla, now with a redesigned sporty exterior. The Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 comes standard with advanced tech safety features, bringing peace of mind to every drive. Go to toyota.com/testmiles for details.
You're listening to Global American Broadcasting, the Gab Radio Network. For more info on our programs and services, including technical operations and syndication, please visit gabradionetwork.com.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935. Or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Here is today's top automotive news story. I'm Nick Miles. Nissan introduced the IMS Concept. It has autonomous driving modes on electric power, but still has an exciting driving performance. Underneath, dual electric motors. Blue lights on the vehicle light up to tell others that it's in autonomous mode. It'll project augmented reality on the dashboard, alerting you of safety hazards ahead. Expect it to be able to do 300 to 400 miles on a single charge of electricity. For more cool car tech, visit testmiles.com.
Hop into the all-new greater-than-ever Corolla, now with a redesigned sporty exterior. The Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 comes standard with advanced tech safety features, bringing peace of mind to every drive. Go to toyota.com/testmiles for details.
You're listening to Global American Broadcasting, the Gab Radio Network. For more info on our programs and services, including technical operations and syndication, please visit gabradionetwork.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. This segment is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind for less than $1 a day. Legal Shield can help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, contracts given to you that you don't understand, plus a whole lot more. Call Legal Shield right now for legal help for less than $1 a day at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305. Again, 213-245-1305. Or visit them at nocourt.us. That's nocourt.us, and tell them the circus sent you. Also, a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Also want to welcome everybody on Spotify as well, the 207 million subscribers to Spotify. And, folks, we have a special guest. In fact, I'm just going to let him introduce himself. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, it's Matt Stairs calling from the good Great White North up of Canada.
All right. Now, Matt, thanks for joining us. And, of course, Matt is a World Series champion back in 2008 with the Philadelphia Phillies. And, you know, Matt, out of all the years you played, I got to tell you, I'm not really one of those guys that's really into this, all the stats and so forth. You know, you see all kinds of crazy stats these days. But the one that really stuck out, and Ben and I were talking about this earlier, is the wins above replacement, right? That WAR number. And, you know, as you're probably aware, the everyday player is from 0 to 2, right? So somebody else jumps into your spot, you're basically going to play the same. And if you're an all-star, you're probably somewhere around that 5 number, which is spectacular. If you're an MVP type, you're about 8. But here we are, folks. Matt is a 14. That's crazy. I mean, for Christ's sake,
is that Canadian or American?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. You're also a member of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame as well, right?
Yeah, that was an honor. I could put that back in there probably in 2016 or something like that. So that was quite an honor to be putting that. I didn't know the WAR was that high, though.
Yeah, 14.2. That's crazy.
Well, you know, I think what happens is that, you know, I only had 2 years where I played every single day. That was 2 years in Oakland. And then when I became, you know, the travel guy, I went around everywhere and, you know, I got 300 and 400 at-bats. My numbers actually moved up pretty good with the amount of bats and home runs I hit. And, you know, so it was that's probably the reason why it was so high.
I believe
Still
you
pretty good, though.
Matt, didn't you finish with more pinch hit home runs than anybody else?
I did. I ended up hitting 23 pinch hit home runs during the regular season, which is a major league record. And, I took that one. That was a fun one. That was, you know, I always said, you know, I didn't make enough to play every day, and I wanted to be a guy that came off the bench and wanted to be a guy that could change the outcome of a game. And it happened many times. I dedicated to pinch hitting. I wanted to pinch hit. I didn't want to play every day. I enjoyed my role, and it worked out well. You know, to see that the opposing manager taking out closers to bring in left-handers just so I didn't have to hit, it was nice seeing that as well.
Right. Well, you know, what struck me funny is, you know, I'm looking through all these stats because I have to anyway, and I'm a baseball fan, whatever. And so I'm looking at a home run tally of 265 home runs, and that may not seem like a lot to a lot of people, but the fact is, for the amount of at-bats you had, imagine if you had played, I don't know, a regular 10, 15 years every day, hell, you could have hit 1,000 home runs.
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, it's, you know, I've had people talk about that, saying I could have hit between 400 and 500 home runs if I would have played every day. You know, and maybe if I played every day, maybe I would have. Maybe if I played every day, maybe I wouldn't have hit my 268 or 258, whatever it is. You know, I sit there and it's funny because people talk about it. It's like, well, it didn't happen. So there's, you know, I'm not going to sit there and say, well, maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have. I was a fly ball hitter without trying to worry about the launch angle and, you know, exit velocity. That was my swing path, was to drive the ball in the gaps. And you know, when I got locked in, I hit a lot of home runs, and it was. So when you become a fly ball hitter and you play in good ballparks to hit in, you're going to hit a lot of home runs.
Well, when I saw you swing, it really reminded me a lot of, I mean, I hope that you take this in the most positive way, but it was very similar to Jim Thome.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think Jim had a lot more opposite field pop than I did. I probably had, I wouldn't say a better pull swing, but a more natural pull swing, because Jimmy had that, being able to hit the ball, you know, from the left field line to the right field line, where I was more just off of center field to left center, more right center with everything. So, but I mean, we basically had the same. I hate saying we had the same path because he's a Hall of Famer and I'm not. But I mean, the swings. I played against him almost my whole career, even when he was in Double A and in Canton. So, you know, I would say that we did have similar. I would say swing paths are pretty much the same.
Yeah,
his results just went a little farther than mine.
You know, Matt, for a guy that really played a couple of seasons at really on an everyday basis. I mean, you played for, 19 years? You played pro ball. But the fact is, look, you weren't like the Dave Kingmans of the world that was hitting like 210. You hit 260 plus. I mean, that says a lot for a guy that's coming off the bench, ice cold, knocking the cover off the ball, but you're hitting, above 260. That's a winner in any book that I know of. I don't know about you, buddy.
Well, no, it's a lot of people sit back. Do you ever sit back and listen to look at your career and what do you think? For me, I think the reason why I had good years hitting wise, towards the end of my career, of course, maybe I played maybe 1, maybe 2 years too long. But I think when I was in my prime, and even the years that I was being a pinch hitter and I was getting 300 or 400 at bats, I was always been able to take a lot of walks. And I think the number for me I was proud in was one was my on base percentage was very high throughout my career. I think it was close to 350, and two, I only struck out twice, 2 times, 100 times in 1 year. So, I was a guy that I had a pretty good game plan. I mean, I looked for certain areas and I tried to stick with it. Of course, you had to come off it once in a while, but that's one thing I teach everyone. When you step in that batter's box, there's only one thing that you can control. Is that your plate appearance or your approach of what you want to stick with. After that, it's out of your hands. You put the ball in play, defense makes it, whatever it is. So I had a pretty good game plan. I stuck with it majority of the time. And majority of the time it worked out. I took my walks, which helped my average.
Now, you saw some shifting when you were playing, but in today's league, in today's game, it's the hyper shift. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, it isn't the bottom line is whatever it takes to win a ball game.
Yeah.
So with the shifting, I get it. I mean, I watched a lot of games, and I watched a lot of players that I coached who are now automatically dead pull hitters, which they weren't 2 years ago. I think we're getting away from a little bit of the opposite field power in a lot of the ball players. There's still a lot of great ball players that hit the ball, a mile to right field or left field, opposite field, whatever. But I think a lot of guys, in certain counts, they try to pull everything. And I think that's the reason why you do the shifts. Listen, I understand. That's fine by me. I saw shifts as well.
Yeah.
What kills me is people, fans, writers, whoever it is, say, well, just, shorten up and hit the ball to the hole. Yeah, okay. If that's not in your DNA, if that's not your swing path, it's almost literally impossible to hit a ball that's coming in 100 miles an hour through a shift to the 5-hole or the 4-hole with a right-handed hitter. Because that's not your swing path. So I understand all the shifts that are going on. I get it. And Ken Griffey Jr. said the best thing. The way he beat a shift was hit over their head.
Right. Now in the Atlantic League, they're actually marking it off where the shift is now becoming illegal. They're trying it out this year. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I knew there was a lot of rules that were coming down with the shift. I know the second half of the season they're thinking about moving the mound back 2 feet. A certain amount of foul balls, you're automatically out. There was a lot of things that the Atlantic was trying to do. I haven't heard a lot of it. I actually have a friend of mine that owns one of the teams in Lancaster. And actually, remind me, I want to give him a call to see how the new rules are going and stuff. But to me, it's, again, whatever it takes to win a ball game, and if the hitters are continue hitting the ball in the 4-hole, the 5-hole, 6-hole, wherever they're hooking the ball, why wouldn't you overload players? I saw there was a player in AAA for Lehigh Valley today had 4 outfielders covering him, and he had a home run. So, it's not just the big leagues; it's all the way down to the minor league system with the scouting report. You got 6 or 7 guys trying to figure out how to get you out. So, you're hitting. We got 9 guys that we're paying to figure out where we should play you and how to get you out. Eventually they're going to figure it out, and this is the way you get guys out. So it sucks, but it's part of baseball. And it's whatever it takes to win, I guess.
Well, I guess maybe they move one of the infielders to the outfield. Now you got 4 outfielders. Hey, whatever it takes. I don't know. That's a lengthy discussion. Actually, it's even a bigger discussion, which we don't even have time for in this segment, which would be when you had said moving the pitcher's mound back 2 feet. Now that is a whole nother discussion that literally could take hours. I don't even know about that. So in the last,
that's something I wouldn't even want to think about, because I think he's running too many injuries with pitchers, different landing spots. They got to figure out a different way to throw a ball to their hand 2 feet deeper. there'll be more runs. It'd be interesting, but I'd hate to see that.
Right. All right, folks, we're going to be back here with Matt Steers, world champion and pinch hit king and War King. That would be 14.2 War King. In just a few minutes, don't go anywhere. Lots more to come with Matt.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company. Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
Are you ready for a six-figure high-tech job? Do you love to play with data? Then Big Data is for you. With the right training and experience, you can get a job anywhere in the U.S. or even travel the world. Get the education you need at this in-depth 2-day seminar featuring international analyst and consultant Mike Ferguson of Intelligent Business Strategies. On your mobile phone, text INSIDER to 25827 for a 30% discount. Text INSIDER to 25827 for 30% off this 2-day seminar now.
Get superior absorption for superior results with Quantum Nutrition Lab's probiotic fermented nutrition. Buy 3 or more of any combination and get 35% off. Call 888-588-7578 or visit us online at qnlabs.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall. Hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family.
Healthline is distributed nationally by the Gab Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. This segment is brought to you by Cali Vegas, helping people just like you create and host your very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Cali Vegas can help you with everything you need to get a sitting in hours of traffic like you're doing right now and host your very own talk show in your very own studio. Call Cali Vegas at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Or visit them at calivegas.com. That's C-A-L-I Vegas.com. And tell them the circus sent you. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, including our friends over in Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500 KHKA, on NBC News, CNBC Financial, and NBC Sports, covering sunny Southern California, KCAA 106.5, 102.3 FM, and 1050 AM right here in Las Vegas, KSHB 1400 in Chicago, WCGO 1590 and 95.9 FM, our Westwood One News affiliate, covering the greater Florida Panhandle and Southern Alabama's Talk 1490 WIRB, and on the New York Yankees Radio Network, 1340 105.3 FM, WLVL, covering the greater Buffalo and Toronto markets, our Fox Sports affiliate, and a big thanks to everybody streaming the show live at thesportscircus.com. All right, back here with Matt Steers, world champion, and I think he's also the world champion wins above replacement. His WAR at 14.2 for his career. That's a crazy number. And you know what, Matt, I think we're going to see if our producer, Cub fan, has a question for Matt. What do you got, Ben?
As a Chicago guy, I'm always thinking about food. I was wondering, in your summer in Chicago, if you had any favorite fare or food or restaurant that you frequented.
Well, I mean, I'm a man who loves food. Pretty much like seafood. I see the food and I eat it. No, you know what I think? I enjoyed Gibson's. I'm always down with a big steak. In Chicago, I had a blast in Chicago. Rosebuds, my wife just told us that was probably our favorite restaurant that we've gone to in Chicago, called Rosebuds. It was really good.
Isn't that the one on Superior?
Beer was cold as well. What's that?
I think it's on Superior. It's right over there in that area where all those real nice restaurants are, not far from the water tower, right?
Correct.
Gotcha.
So that was
probably
my favorite place.
Yeah, that's really good food. Did you ever go to Salerno's on Grand? Get some pizza there?
I did.
Oh,
no, I did not.
Oh, you're missing out. The beer is cold and the pizza's great.
That's a good mixture.
It sure is. All right, so tell us a little bit about your experience playing for the Cubs. Now, this is for all the Cub fans out there, because we are covering a great amount of the Chicagoland area.
Right. Heck, going into Wrigley Field, the fans were unbelievable. We actually had a very good year that year. We had EY. It was tough. It was the year when I came in 2001. That was the year that Mark Grace went to Arizona. So that was tough, shoes to try to fill. Taking Mark Grace's place. And, at first the fans, gave you a hard time because of who you're trying to replace. But I had fun. The only thing that was tough for me at Wrigley Field, and that's because I was a Cub, is whenever I came into that ballpark, I didn't hit well in that ballpark. To me, it was the wind was blowing in, wasn't good for a fly ball hitter, and the playing surface was a little smaller. So when you step in the batter's box, you see a lot of infielders and a lot of outfielders. But besides that, I had a blast. We had a great time there. We traded for Fred McGriff at the All-Star time, or just before that or after that. We had a good run. Unfortunately, we got some guys hurt, and it was a great time playing in Wrigley Field.
Well, you also went from Oakland, where you had some years there, to a very large playing surface, right, with real wide foul ground areas, to a very condensed field at Wrigley.
Yeah. And it's funny, as hitters, maybe I'm the oddball, or I don't know, but playing in, like when you go to Coors Field, you see no one in the infield. You see no one in the outfield because there's so much room in the outfield and the infield. South territory in Oakland, it just seems like everything's just spaced out. Like the crowd is not right on top of you. I knew when I played the old Detroit Stadium up in Detroit, it was the same way. The fans are right on top of you. It feels like you're kind of crowded. It feels like the pitcher's, 45 feet away from you instead of 60 feet. So, there's a lot of things that play in your mind when you become a hitter. And of course, when you look out there and you see that wind blowing in, and I remember hitting balls to right field. Just crushed them, thinking, there's no way that's gonna hit one of those buildings over the bleachers. And then would he make the warning track, and then Sammy Sosa would come up next time and hit a ball off the field. He'd go about 30 rows deep, and I'm like, unbelievable. So that's just how it is. Though the hitters are weird. Jason Giambi, I remember one time we were playing in Cleveland, and he goes, "Did you ever notice that yellow line that goes down through the middle of the center field wall?" And I'm like, "Oh my God!" And then all of a sudden you start looking at it, you see it, and you can't get it out of your head. So we try to keep our mouth shut when it comes to those. But I've heard a lot of people talk about playing in Wrigley that it feels like the fans are right on top of you, and it feels like the pitcher's right on top of you as well.
Well, see, now you have the same thing in Boston. So you're at small park, then big park, then small park, and then you go to Milwaukee. So it looked like for a period of, about 6-7 years, whatever, that you were alternating little to big parks. Maybe did that make it smaller?
No, you know what? Fenway, I didn't notice. I was so young, being a rookie going into Fenway Park, and not realizing how close that wall was in left field, and all of a sudden realizing that, well, hell, I ain't strong enough right now to hit a ball to right field, so I better learn how to hit the ball to left field. I see why Wade Boggs is such a great opposite field hitter. And that wall is 100 or 285 or 300 feet, whatever it is, away in left field, but. It was only Wrigley Field where I felt uncomfortable standing in the batter's box, thinking that everyone was right on top of you. Everywhere else, Detroit, of course, they blew that up, and you went to the new ballpark, which is like hitting in a bowl. It's just the way it's built that the fans are quite a ways from you. So, I think nowadays with all the fans being as far as they are back, it doesn't seem like everyone's right on top of you anymore. You just feel uncomfortable. It's like as a hitter, when a catcher is set up inside, you feel crowded, and then all of a sudden when he sets up away, you kind of have that little spaces of, okay, there's nobody near me. You stand in line sometime and someone's standing real close to you. That's the feeling a hitter gets when a catcher sets up underneath your hands. You just feel crowded.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, do you have another question? I guess not. Okay. Well, I look at it this way. Look,
I must have bored him. He left.
I don't know. I know. He's running around the back trying to do 14 things. But no, the funny thing is, look, I have been to Wrigley, a ton of times as a kid. I grew up not too far from there. I was born right down the street from here. And I've gone to a lot of games there. Yeah, you were essentially right on top of the action. And, over the years, I became a dedicated White Sox fan, and that has to do with the old Bruce Sutter thing. That goes way back. But anyway, I've seen my share of games in both stadiums. At Old Comiskey, of course, it was the same, just like old Tigers. All the old parks were kind of similar. But, as they build these newer parks, actually the only one that really wasn't like that I've seen, a place that you're pretty familiar with, is Dodger Stadium. Even though it's not a new stadium, you're pretty far back at that stadium.
Yeah, you are. It's, down the foul lines, of course, there's no foul line area down there. That and Anaheim's pretty much built the exact same way.
Right.
Behind home plate, there's a lot of room, which was nice. To me, it's when you have that no room behind home plate, no foul territory. It feels like if I do a check swing, I'm going to kill the guy on deck. Or
it's like playing in a Little League stadium.
Pardon me?
I said it feels like playing in a Little League stadium, doesn't it?
Well, it does, and it's you feel uncomfortable standing on deck because you're taking your practice swings and you're 20 feet from the hitter.
Right.
So and listen, I'm not making any excuses. That's not the reason why I sucked when I played in Chicago. I just had a bad time hitting in that ballpark, and I looked forward to going on the road. If you check my road numbers that year compared to my home games, it was night and day. I think I hit one home run and 6 RBIs at home, and hit 16 home runs on the road and 40 some RBIs on the road. So it was. I enjoyed playing there, and it was a good time.
Well, it's an interesting perspective because a lot of people hear stories that, I love Wrigley and and let's face it, the locker rooms. Look, it's old, it smells down there, it's compact, it's if you're claustrophobic, you're in trouble down there. Is that a fair statement?
Well, claustrophobic is when you played the old Detroit Stadium, where you had to walk along in the bench and you had to duck underneath this very dense cement block. Me being a 5'9" guy, I would hit my head in the roof. The locker room in Detroit was really small. The locker room in Chicago was, nowadays you can land a plane in most locker rooms. It was just an original locker room. They did a great job with it. I think the Tier 3, which they were going to do the visiting locker room this year, I'm not 100% sure, but they did the locker rooms or the benches, which they did a great job on. And now I think they were going to do something in the locker room this year for the visiting side. But that's fine. It's a little different as a coach, just sitting there changing and listening to all the players talking about stuff that's going on, where we're used to having our own office and kind of getting away from the coaches or the players, depending on what you're doing.
Right.
It is tight, and of course you sit there and you eat right in the middle of the locker room, so it's a little different that way.
Yeah, it's a different perspective. I think a lot of people don't get to hear that perspective. I love what you said about the small feel in the park, how everybody's right on top of you. Folks, we're going to be back here with Matt Stairs in just a few minutes. We're going to talk a little bit other sports besides baseball as well. He's a pretty avid sports watcher, and we're going to get into it a little bit. All right, folks, back here in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come with Matt Stairs.
Hugs at the arrival gate.
Hey, I missed you so much.
Seeing your best bud for the first time in a long time. Family and friends around the table. At Lincoln, we know the holidays are filled with moments like these, when we realize that the greatest wish of all is one that brings us together. In that spirit, we invite you into our home during the Lincoln Wishlist event, where not coincidentally, we're making wishes come true with exceptional offers on the Lincoln family of luxury vehicles. The Lincoln Continental, the MKZ, the MKC, the new Nautilus, and the iconic Navigator. The Lincoln Wishlist event, because wishes really do come true at your Lincoln dealer.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935. Or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD. If you've ever had questions about your health, listen to Healthline Live now online at qnlabs.com every Monday through Saturday. I'll take your nutrition questions live during show hours and guide you the best I can on your path to great health. The key to great health is nutrition, and unfortunately, our food sources are not even close to what they used to be. Go to qnlabs.com and join me to learn about quantum nutrition. Ask your questions and get real answers. I'll give you the truth so you're empowered to make excellent nutrition and lifestyle choices. Remember, each day's show streams 24 hours until the next show, so you can listen at your convenience, from anywhere, anytime. If you miss a show, you can still find it archived on the website. So take advantage of this great opportunity to educate yourself and your family. That's Healthline Live every Monday through Saturday on QN.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. This segment is brought to you by the American Business Trust Company, helping your company with business strategy, sales and marketing, capital resources, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. The American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. Visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio, Spotify, our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. We're here with Matt Steers, War King, world champion from the Philadelphia Phillies, and probably one of the best home run hitting pinch hitters that the game has ever seen. Thanks for joining us again, Matt.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, so you're a big animal guy. We were talking about this in the commercial break. Now, you are really big on the pet adoption world, and tell everybody about that a little bit.
Well, my wife and I, we're always trying to figure out how to raise money helping the animals. So we started about 7 years ago after I retired, doing a golf event. And, I started off pretty small. We'd make about $35,000. 70% went to the SPCA, and then 30% went to the local minor baseball program. And then eventually we ended up raising about $500,000 over 5 years of golf. It grew and grew and grew, and it just surprises you how many people are out there supporting animals. So we ended up in Fredericton. We had the SPCA was a euthanization, which was about 40%, which is way too high. After all the stuff that we've done in the donation stuff, we've become 2%, which is the number one in Canada, and we're becoming an adoption center. So we take a lot of pride and a lot of joy in helping out the fur babies. And on that note, we've become a foster parents, failed fosters, and end up having 18 animals. So 14 cats and 4 dogs.
Holy smokes!
But it's fine. It's all worth it. I would probably take more if I had to.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, there's very few people out there that will risk their personal time to take care of an animal. I mean, let's face it, a lot of these animals, they're just helpless. They have no idea what's going on. They didn't ask to be in that particular situation. A lot of people abandon animals for no reason. I don't understand it. But then again, how do they have a conscience? How do they get along with themselves? How do they look at themselves in the mirror every day? I'll never understand it.
Well, they probably don't have any mirrors. To me, they're gutless. For people to take advantage of a little animal or drop an animal off, or 4 kittens at a door and leave. And what kind of person are you? To me, you're gutless. And we had a case up here where a guy spent 3 months and let his dog by himself into the house, and he starved himself to death.
Wow.
To me, you're a piece of what. We end up fighting for it and end up getting a year in jail. So Anyways, it's just it's to us it's very important with the animals, and we've raised as much money as we can every year to help out the animals. Because God knows, when you live in northeastern Canada, we get some badass weather in the wintertime and 10, 12 feet of snow. So it's nice to give these cats and animals a home.
Well, you know what, Matt, what we'll do is you'll have to send me your logo and link, and I'll put a link on the partners page for the Sports Circus so you can help keep the awareness going, and we'll draw some eyeballs over to it. Hell, we get 3 million plus hits a month on our website, so that ought to do something, at least bring additional awareness to what's going on in your area with the animals as well.
I appreciate that.
Happy to do it.
Thank you.
Happy to do it. All right, so you're a big sportsman. You like other sports. You like watching other sports as well. Talk to me a little bit about basketball. We went over this as well just a little while ago.
Well, I've from being up here, you grow up, loving the Montreal Canadiens and hockey.
Yes.
You end up loving the Boston Bruins, and you love the Boston Celtics. And I just found with basketball nowadays, it's just no defense, 0 defense. And I imagine a lot of people you talk to, they have the reasons why, because guys shoot 3-pointers, they shoot back to 3-pointers up. I think nowadays athletes make so much money that they don't want to get a chance of being hurt by blocking people going to the hoops, or how many times nowadays you see a game that's 135 to 128, and that's not even overtime. That's in regular time. Back in the day, you used to see them 90, 88, 87, 86. Now I get it. Guys are tremendous shooters, and they're probably, as a team, more athletes on the team wise. But I think this with basketball, you just don't see defense enough anymore. And it's like hockey. We talked about hockey, and I'll change the subject real quick. Hockey during the regular season, there's not a lot of body checks.
No, I'm a huge hockey fan. I mean, let's stick with hockey. Yeah, let's stick with hockey. I'm a huge hockey fan. And let me ask you a question. You've been following the different playoff games and so forth, right? Did you get a chance to see did you get a chance to see the phantom cross-check that Cody Eakin put on Joe Pavelski, who conveniently embellished and went back and unfortunately fell on the side of his head, caused himself some injury.
Right.
But how about that ridiculous call? I mean, you don't give somebody a 5-minute major off of, even if it was a 2-minute cross-check. And let's just say it was a worst-case scenario, you get a double minor, right? 2 and 2. Come on,
no,
man.
no. And the worst thing about it was that I think the blood was what scared everybody. You know, he took the tumble, then all of a sudden he got bumped by the winger going through, landed on the side of his head, unfortunately got hurt. You know, the blood was coming out, get carried off. You know, to me, that's where you need to have an instant replay. Should that be an automatic 5-minute major or a 2-minute major?
Well, plus they gave him a game misconduct too.
I know they gave him a 5-minute major and a game misconduct. Well, actually, a 5-minute match. A game misconduct, and they don't score 3 power play goals, and next time they're playing in Game 7 tonight. So
they scored 4 power play goals.
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Right. It's unprecedented. And look, just like we saw in the Kentucky Derby with the disqualification, what the hell's going on with all these ridiculous calls? I'm sure you saw the NFC Championship game with the phantom no call, I should say, that the Saints were victimized by. Come on, man.
Brutal. I know, it's brutal. And unfortunately, you know, it's in every sport, you know, people are going to complain about, the referees in hockey and the umpires in baseball, the referees in football. I mean, they make a lot of mistakes, but I think nowadays there's just so many camera angles and so many different things that show that, once again, they screwed up. And here's another place where they missed, where probably 10, 15 years ago they didn't have all those cameras.
I know.
Now they just play it over and over and over. And like in Boston, the Milwaukee game right now on TV, they're going back to watch the replays of different angles. So trust me, I was behind the mic for 3 years broadcasting for the Phillies, and you'd be surprised how many camera angles you can pull out of a game. It's amazing.
Right?
It is. I mean, it really is amazing. And the cameras that we think we have them all. No, New York has more, or Toronto has more for hockey, wherever the hell you're at. So it is. I mean, it's, and I think that's the reason why McAvoy didn't get a 5-minute match for the head contact to the Blue Jacket player. Because I think the referees now are afraid to make a mistake, and now it came down to where he got a suspension for 1 game tomorrow when they play against the Hurricanes / the Jerks.
Right.
That's Don Cherry, by the way. That's not me. That's Don Cherry.
Right. well, look at it this way. You look at all these games and you say they all have one thing in common. You know what they have in common, Matt? They have sports gambling, now legalized in-game betting. I got to tell you, buddy, it seems to me that very well could compromise the integrity of the games.
It could. It very easily could. I mean, it's amazing how the gambling has changed and how you go in from quarter to quarter or whatever you want to do and bet on games.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot of money out there for, well, being in Vegas and stuff. It's crazy.
Matt, listen, we have less than a minute left, and I want you to get all your social media and your causes. Go ahead and plug that up for about 30 seconds, would you?
It's very quick. I'm on Facebook, and that's it. I learned back when I was broadcasting that there's too many guys or gals that are mouthing off downstairs in their parents' bedroom in the basement on Twitter. So I don't do anything with Twitter. I just do Facebook, and basically our main cause is up in the Fredericton SPCA, and we raise money to help support the animals. And I travel around through the United States and Canada now to be a speaker and to really get things off my chest and let people know exactly what's going on in baseball and the lingo behind it. So I've enjoyed it. It's the first time in 30 years I've had a summer off, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, get down here to Vegas, folks. That was Matt Steers, world champion, war champion at 14.2, and just a great guy taking care of the animals. Folks, we'll be back tomorrow right here on your favorite channel, so make sure you tune in. Maybe a special guest, maybe not. You never know. Just tune in right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone. Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.